Matthew 9:20 to 22. And behold, a woman who had suffered from a discharge of blood for 12 years came up behind him and touched the fringe of his garment. For she said to herself, if I only touch his garment, I will be made well. Jesus turned, and seeing her, he said, take heart, daughter, your faith has made you well. And instantly the woman was made well. If I should put a topic, a name to this, what I'm going to talk about, let your suffering be heard.
Yes, praise the Lord. We're glad we're here again, and we thank God for all that He have done. Thank you for being with us. Monday morning praise. We want to dive right into our teaching about let your suffering be heard. As we have said last week, the woman suffered with blood, and within that 12 years, we can see that she was not herself. Her mind, her physical body, her spirit, everything was down and broken, and all that she desired is to be healed. Is where help is on the way. You may think that no one hears your cry. You may think that no one knows what is happening with you. When one is in a secret closet or a secret place, they only look within themselves to see what is happening. And what caused that, because of what is happening within them, there is maybe pain, rejection, no one loved them, they're being cast out, and these signs leads to depression. So we got to be very careful that we don't find ourselves in a state like that, because depression steps in and cause you to go in a deeper hole or darkness. She's suffering silence. She seek help. There was no help. What began to happen also? She began now to speak in the inner, began to speak in her mind, and she have come to a place where that if there is no help, it's better I die. Imagine all these voices steps in. Can she cope with it? Many times when one is in a state like that, or even worse, it's very hard to cope with. But I want to let you know that there is help on the way. Even though she was going through the pain and rejection, embarrassment of the people around her, her body becomes weak and weaker every time. And imagine, she maybe seeing death before her eyes. Help is on the way. So she heard about Jesus. She heard about this man who goes around healing people. And he came to Capernaum, where she is. And he began to heal the sick, even those that have disease, even those that are oppressed. He began to cast out. Now the woman knows of herself that she has what? A loss of blood. And she knew about Jesus' ability. She have heard about Jesus. She have heard about him healing. And her desire, she now becomes, there's hope. Hope that I will meet this man. She needed that because she was in a state of depression. She was in a state where that's it. The doctor told her that's no, they can't do anything. But I know that she knows about this man Jesus, the healer. So she said, I must go to this man, this Dr. Jesus, who will never, never refuse to help me. Because if this Jesus healing people, I believe he can heal me. So there, so hope begins to rise within her. Faith begins to rise within her, right? Because, as I said, she heard about this man Jesus. So she not just only heard about Jesus healing, she makes sure that she go where he is, which he was on the harbor. So her expectation of meeting Jesus, that I will be healed. But when she went there, tell me what's happening. A crowd of people. You see a crowd of people. And first thing that will step into your mind, I don't think I'm going to get through. There's too many people there. I better come back next time. Many times we sabotage our blessing. Many times we stop our blessing by allowing negative thoughts to enter, not only enter, but we entertain it. And there is a blessing before you, but you begin now, as I said, to sabotage your blessing. So she saw a crowd of people waiting. I sure she maybe thought it was she alone, but to her surprise, a crowd of people were before her. So Jesus now coming on shore, surrounded by many people. And the woman immediately knew, as I said, it is impossible to approach this man. When we in a place of assuming, it leads us wrong many times. So what she did, she took a few minutes now and what? Begin to devise a plan how to come near to this man. Whenever you're in a situation and you want to make a move, the best thing for you to do is to pause, plan, seek out, get information, inquire before you make the move. People make plans and move in their life without planning, without seeking the face of God, without seeking information. And when they arrived to that place, they were disappointed. So she reached there and she saw the crowd of people. She said, how am I going to get near to this man, this healer? Because I've been suffering for 12 years. She firmly believed that if I could touch the fringe of his coat, she would be healed. Now, to touch the fringe of his coat is a hard thing to do. Why is hard? Because of the crowd of the people surrounding. But she made up in her mind, she made up in her spirit, if I can only touch, I would be healed. If you notice, She get her mind in position. She get her spirit to line up. She get her words to line up. So when your mind, your spirit, and your words are line up, something got to happen. I said again, when your mind, your spirit, and the word lined up, something is going to happen. So she put herself in a position. She find a place where he got to pass on this side. He got to walk on my side. So she went to a certain place or position where she can sit there until he passes. Some people, when they want the blessing, they don't look for a position or place. Some just stay home. But she man, Jesus, he will heal me. Moving forward, what begins to happen? The crowd of people begin now to shout at her. They begin what again? To ridicule her. They begin to blaspheme her, curse her out. And I'm telling you, she began to get hurt again. Sometimes your own loved ones, who you dearly seek and talk every day, those are the ones that really hurt you. In her mind, I got to touch this man. But because of the crowd of the people in front of me, and they begin to shout at me, and they begin to spat at me, and they begin to talk negative words towards me, more hurt. But she still wait patiently for Jesus. When trials or when people accuse or begin to snare at you, still hold on to your faith. When they when Satan went before Jesus, before God, accusing Job, right? The enemy, he's the accuser of the brethren. But she stand her ground. Why she stand her ground? Because her mind, her spirit, her words were lined up in faith that I would be healed. When you have those things in place, there is no way the crowd could move you. When you stand for what you believe in life, when you stand for what you believe, your faith, nothing will move you. And she waited patiently. Patiently. Imagine, they didn't tell us how much hours she waited for. It didn't tell us if the sun was shining or if rain was falling, but she waited patiently. She would not allow nothing or no one to deter her from reaching or touching this healer. So even though the crowd were fierce at her, even though the crowd begins to uh, snatch at her, even though the crowd begins to push her, she waited patiently until Jesus shows up. When last you wait on the Lord for something, the word of God says, they that wait upon the Lord, he shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagle. They shall run and not be weary. When last you wait, and she wait, and she wait, until he comes near and she touched that robe. She touched that robe and there was a transformation. There was a healing virtue. Immediately, she felt the unseen power flows through her body and restore her health. Mm, help is there. Because all she wanted was to just touch. What a great faith. She didn't want a hug, some people want to get a hug and shake hand. All she wanted just the touch of the hem of the garment. And immediately that faith rise and her health will restore. She have to be the most happiest person on the face of the earth after 12 years of being sick. And right away, Jesus felt virtue coming from him. He felt. And he said, who touched me? Who touched me? A crowd of people surrounded him. And you were asking who touched you? But he knew there was someone in the midst. There was someone crying out. There was someone in pain. There was someone who had been broken. There was someone who had been cast out. There was someone who were in a place near to death. Touch me. And he knew. God knows everything about your life. There is nothing that we can hide from God. He knows our strength. He knows our weakness. He knows everything even before. And Jesus knew that someone has touched him. And when he asked, who touched me? You could imagine, in her mind, she said, oh my God, I maybe did something wrong. I'm unclean. I wasn't supposed to touch. The law said I wasn't supposed to touch, but I'm unclean. Oh, he's going to scroll me. He's going to embarrass me. So she began now, as I said, feel embarrassed. What I have done. I touched this man. I know the law says about the unclean, but I touched this man. No, what he's going to do to me. She felt embarrassed. But she didn't understand this Jesus. She didn't understand this Jesus is a man of compassion. She didn't understand this Jesus love. She didn't understand that this Jesus, man, he came just for you. You may in a position. You may tell yourself, I'm unclean. You may tell yourself, well, I don't deserve it. Why me? These are the questions we all ask. Why me? What I have done? I'm not worthy. You don't have to do anything. It's the grace of God. He's the one that calls you. He's the one that will fix you. He's the one that will mend your heart. He's the one that will take care of. He's the one that will cover you. You can't cover yourself. He is the one that will give life into you. When we understand that, we know that it's the grace of God. And the woman, she felt so relieved that my sickness, my condition, her desire to be healed, she have received it. So what is your desire this morning? What it is that you are after? And there is something that is holding you back. It's holding you back for your dreams. It's holding you back. That thing that is holding you cause you to be resentment. That thing that is holding you back cause you to walk away from the things of God. That thing that is holding you back will lead you to destruction. Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the light. Whosoever comes to me, I would no wise cast them away. Come to Jesus today. He is your helper. I'm telling you, before I was saved, before I become born again, I was in the same position, outside, cast out, rejected, no friends, family, loved ones, the world. And I felt the rejection, depression. Nobody loves me. Nobody cares for me. Not understanding there was a man called Jesus. Most of us have experienced that in our life, in our walk. But when one is not born again, they will turn to other things that will cause more destruction in their life. Only God is our salvation. So as we wrap up, I'm about to close from Matthew 9:20, and to see this woman, 12 years sick, flow of blood, unclean, rejected, scorned, all that. And Jesus came just for her. It tells us that he knows our condition. He knows where we are right now. It's only the power of God makes the difference in our life. And we have seen the power of God had been demonstrated and displayed even before the crowd of people, because they know her. They know this woman, 12 years. She's in the same village, so they know her. And one thing about God, if God has to come just for one person, he will do it. One. And here she have received a healing. She have seen the love of God. She have seen the kindness, the compassion when no man have done before. So she got up with courage, and she began to tell Jesus all was happening over the 12 years, her condition, and how she wanted her desires just to be healed, and her faith is just to meet him. And there she was healed. Jesus wants to heal you today. Jesus looked upon your condition the same way he have looked upon the woman condition, and he healed her. Do you have faith? This woman had faith. I'm telling you, she had faith just small as a mustard seed. It was all sufficient for her to be healed. That's all she wanted, to be healed. And her faith moved mountains. It moved loneliness. It moved agony. It moved worrying. It moved poverty. When you have that faith, nothing can stand in your way when you want to be healed. Pray that we bless and we thank you for being with us. Join us on Wednesday night where we are going to continue with the Roman soldier and show you this man was gentle, soldier. He operates in an